Claudio, we're live, man. Appreciate you for coming on here. For the people, of course, man. For the people that are not that might be watching this on YouTube, but that haven't maybe connected with you in the community, maybe explain a little bit about like where you're from and what you do.
Yeah. So, well, my name is Claudio. As you can tell from my accent, I'm Italian. Uh, So I live in Italy at the moment. I came back 2 years ago. I've been around in the last for many years. What do I do? In simple words, I help people and I've helped entrepreneur executives to use at best their time. So I'm all about efficiency. So structuring work so that it flows nicely, smoothly.
And I'm praying for that Trello video one of these days.
I'm seeing everyone. There are many people asking and they're tagging me, so I feel pressured, but I will do it.
Oh my gosh. So where did you go in the past couple of years? You said you're living outside Italy. Where were you?
So, long story short, I've always had the desire to leave Italy in the sense and travel. And I actually was able to do it just when I finished the university. I was studying economics, and then my now she's my wife, but we were she was my girlfriend at the time, and she finished university 3 months before me, and she left to go to the UK. So I was, but I have to go as fast as I can. So I had the last three exam. I did them. I did the thesis. I graduated and went as well. So
What city?
we went to Sheffield.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I stayed there for about 1 year and a half, and I was lucky enough, to be honest, to find a job immediately, like after 2 weeks that I was there. That's a nice job. I stayed there for a year and a half. Then we moved to Ireland. Actually, I went alone to Ireland. And then after 3 years that I was in Ireland, we moved with my wife because then she became my wife to Malta. And
Boston?
Malta.
Okay.
So island close to Sicily.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of people that I know here in Hungary that have lived there, and they said they really liked it.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's very nice. I've been there for 6 years. I call it my second home, basically.
Wow, yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, it's very nice. So I've been around and it was nice. And then we decided to come back because we had a baby, or we knew we were going to have a baby. So we said, you know what, let's go back to Italy so at least she can enjoy her parents, her family, grandparents. It's nice.
So, wait, when you got married, where you were in Ireland and she was in the UK?
No, we got married when we were both in Malta.
Okay.
We got married in Italy. So we just moved to Malta.
Oh, nice. Okay. So, and what did you go to school for?
What?
Yeah, what were you studying in school?
Okay, in school, I don't know how to translate. In high school, I studied it's scientific new.
Like in college, like what'd you go to college for, I guess?
It was in economics, so business administration. Yeah, and economics, and that was actually what helped me to get the first job, and even the second one, because the second one in Ireland, I was working for PayPal, and I
PayPal?
yeah.
Okay.
No, that's a funny story because I've always been lucky, I feel, in my life, in the sense that when I know what I want, it's easy for me to get there. When I am confused, then of course it's a problem. But after the UK, I said to my wife, because she came back to Italy, because we were both in the UK, she came back to Italy to study her master degree. I didn't do it. I've only, the bachelor degree. And I said to her, you know, I would like to work for a company I really like. And at the time, there were eBay and PayPal. So I sent two CV, and they both said I could have them. And then I chose PayPal. And I went to PayPal. I was a risk analyst. So I was analyzing, risk, fraud, and how to improve operations. And then inside PayPal, I stayed there for 2 years and a half, lucky in the sense that they paid my tuition to certified as a personal leadership and executive coach. It was very expensive. I didn't have the money at the time, so they paid for me. And then I started getting in love with agile, which is a world on its own. It's a,
Yeah, what is that?
it's what I do now basically. It's basically a framework, so a way of working that is about productivity and empowering people if you have a team to do their work at best. And there are different things that you do in order to work in an agile way. And then, when I moved to Malta, it was, I said, that's what I have to do. So I went on my own. I started working for different companies as a contractor until big company, it's an insurance, a big insurance in Malta hired me, and I'm still working with them, but very little.
So how did you get from doing that to like doing things on your own? Like what was that? Did you have like a dream of being like an entrepreneur like before? Like how did you get to that point?
And I've always wanted to. I'm still not there, I feel, but I've always wanted to build something that was mine. So yeah, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And I remember, for example, when I arrived in Ireland, I actually started a company. It was called Meet Ego, and
What was it called?
Meet Y Go, Meet Ego.
Wait, how do you spell the whole thing?
So meet, like we meet,
Okay, meet.
Y, so the
Okay, why? And then go.
go.
Okay, meet Wiva. Okay. And what was it?
And the idea behind it was to put together, so to connect people that were looking for funds and investors.
Okay.
Yeah, but I failed dramatically.
Why that? Why that?
I have no idea, but possibly, and I did it big in the sense, okay, let's open, a registered company. And I did it. I registered it on my own, no accountants. And then I opened it. I started to advertise. But because as well, I had in PayPal, we were working 10 hours a day, but for 4 days.
Okay.
It was very good. So I had only the 3 days, which was good. But for some reason, for some reason, I think it was not the time, let's say. It didn't go well. And then when I started it, after 4 months, we decided to leave Ireland. So it was, oh my God, wait. So then I shut it down.
Oh, because you registered it in Ireland?
Yeah.
What's the what made you choose like that specific business?
I don't know. Like I always wanted to connect this kind because I think it was something I wanted to do. I had a lot of ideas, and at the time I was looking for investors. People with money to believe in.
Okay.
I said, let's do something. And I didn't find something similar in Ireland at the time. So I said, let's do it. And I tried to do it, but I failed. That's fine. So that was my first, I feel, entrepreneurial venture that I tried. And then when I moved to Malta, I actually, when I arrived, I applied for a bank and I got hired like immediately. And I worked for them for 2 months doing similar things, risk analysis. But then I said, no, I cannot do it. I cannot be an employee anymore. So I said to my wife, I will quit. And I quit. And it was tough because the first 6 months I didn't earn anything. But
Yeah. What were you doing? What were you doing during that 6 months?
in the 6 months, I started to study a lot. And I remember that was the time, it was 2018. End of 2018, I met Sam Ovens when he was doing consulting.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I started to follow him and like his courses and stuff. And I said, okay, that's what I want to do. I want to help companies, and teams and what I was doing basically, but I want to do it on my own. So after 6 months, a period of trying to understand what to do, I started to knock on everyone's doors in Malta. And I started to work for a few companies, not that many, but I started very slowly, and then I had referrals, so people would
What were you doing for them?
basically I was helping. So there were medium to big companies, so from 50 to 400 employees, and what I was doing basically was to help the executive or the CEO. It depends on how big was the company, to structure their team in a way that they manage to increase their capacity, so do more in the time they had.
Ah, so basically helping their employees like be more productive, basically.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. But so what I'm kind of curious, like, do you have this meet why go? Like, what how'd you come up with the name? What does that mean?
To me, it was like, let's connect and go together.
Okay.
I'm Italian, so I came up with this weird name that possibly in English didn't make sense, but maybe it was one of the reasons.
I think I think it sounds like that could be something that could potentially even be like a cool school community where you have like investors and people that have really cool ideas in the same community. And then it's easy for them to pitch ideas and then people can see the ideas without like in the shadows, kind of like if they just want to check out the ideas without commenting on stuff, they can't. But it can maybe be a good way for people to pitch, practice that stuff. I don't know if you're still trying to do that, but yeah, like, cause I don't think like, I think that is the issue a lot of people have. It's like, man, I have a really good idea, but I don't know how to connect with people. And then people have money, but then they're like, I don't know where to find people that have like cool ideas.
Mhm. Yeah, it could be. I think there's something at the moment similar, so that might be.
So, so how did, all right. So you started this company in Malta and you were helping like other companies, like with
Yeah.
the place.
No, it was not a company. I registered as self-employed. So yeah,
Okay. So so you're basically, you were doing it as like a contractor.
yeah. Mo-
Okay. And then, so how does that connect to like what you're doing now?
So long story short, I started working for a few of them, and they started, to have results, and then they referred me. I didn't work online. Actually, online, what I did during COVID, because then there was COVID in between, and the people were, shut down. So for another 9 months, I didn't work as I was doing as a contractor. So I started to run online workshops about productivity for Italy, and so I registered on Udemy, and I have there two courses, and so I did this, and
That's in Italian?
yes, in Italian, called Productive Genius, the course.
Okay. This name makes sense. I like that.
And it went well. Like, I had many students that registered, and then I did some 101. But then, as soon as COVID, finished, because to be honest, in Malta we were never locked down. We were able to go around, but we couldn't meet other people. So you can go out, but without meeting others. And then when things, went back to normal, I started working again, and I got an offer from Atlas, which is the company, the insurance I worked with, to become their agile coach. So I said, you know what? Let's do it, because the pay was good. It was what I wanted to do. I loved it. The company was big, was growing. So I said, let's do it. And I was for with them for 4 years, and now I'm still with them as a contractor. But as I said, I work when
Okay.
yeah.
And so and now so now you've kind of, you're working with this company, but less as a contractor. What about like the business that you have now?
Yeah.
What is it that you're doing now and what's kind of like the vision with that?
Yeah. As well, there I'm saying, the feel is I feel great, more than lucky. But even with that company I was working with in Malta, I was lucky when I said, I want to go back to Italy. And they didn't have at the time people working remotely, just hybrid. And so I feel, because maybe they didn't want to lose me, they said yes to me. So I came back to Italy, and I continued working with them full time. But then, after about a year, I said to my wife, I don't know if things will stay the same, because I was seeing, that everything, because my job has an end, in the sense I go, we start to do certain things, improve processes, but then if a company is big, after 1, 2, 3, 4 years, that's it. Like, we don't have to do a lot more.
Yeah.
So I said to my wife, I think if I will start to work less and less for them, possibly starting next year, which was 2025. And I was right. So this year, actually, at the beginning of the year, I started my journey in Italy as a self employed, uh, while working for them, but reduced hours. and I started working and doing what I did for companies for solopreneur. I worked for accountants, financial advisors, notaries, like to help them structure work so that they can do things, productively, as you said.
So maybe give us also like an example, because I think there might be people that are watching this that need what you're doing, but is like how to help them understand it in a way that they're like, okay, that's something that it really help you.
I can give you an example what I did and I did for them, and I will connect to my story here, which is funny as well in school. So basically, what I did with them is I commit. So you are, if you work with me, usually you are making money. Like in the sense, money is not an issue because I don't help with acquisition or marketing. I'm not good.
Okay.
But
So you already have an income, you already have revenue coming in.
yeah, so you have another problem. You have too many things to do, too many clients, and you're drowning in chaos. So
Okay.
what I do, I come in, we analyze your work, so how you structure your day, your week, your calendar, and what tools do you use in order to streamline everything that you do, so all the processes, and say, okay, we can cut that, we don't need to do that, we can do this differently, this doesn't make sense, let's improve it, or let's use some automation. If you have a team, you should delegate more, what's stopping you from delegating? So, and I have them basically at the end save time. So usually on average is 30% of their time. So if they work 10 hours, they end up working 7 hours, but at best I managed to recoup 60%. So there were cases where people from 10 hours went to 4 hours because they had a team. So we started to really delegate, and in the right way they managed to work less, which at the end, nobody works less, but at least things. So
What let's say somebody has the money to pay you for what you charge, and their thing is like, hey, I don't have the money. Like my business isn't generating a lot of money, but I want to make sure that the time and energy that I'm putting into growing my business uh is the most efficient. Like would it make sense for you to help them, or are you just like, hey, it only would make sense if you're already making X amount of money?
that's my thing. So coming back to school, when I started school, I joined in July, and I didn't start my community straight away. I started looking around what was going on, trying to understand, because that's what I'm used to do. It's called shadowing. So before you understand how something works, and then you say, okay, that's what I could do. And then I started a community which was called School Ops.
Okay.
I as well sent a message to Sam because I knew, I was using school, and he said, possibly, it might not be the right thing. So I sent a message to him. I'm starting this. What do you think? And he replied to me, oh, that's cool. So I said, I'm okay to use the name. But then after 4 weeks, no, 3 weeks, I got a message from the school team saying, you should remove school from your name.
Yeah, they started cracking down on that a little bit later.
He said, why? Like everyone is using it. But then I understood why, because if you go, on their career page, they call themselves the School Ops team. So
Wow.
my community it might be too much of a link with that. So I changed it to Ops Lab. And the idea behind Ops Lab was actually to help people, as you're saying, entrepreneur or people working here at school, to structure their business even when they are starting in a way, so to structure their day, their calendar, to be as much as possible productive. And it grew without me doing more, I mean much. I have 36 people there, but I didn't do much, and because I'm very conscious of time, so before engaging
Yeah.
I really share value and know what to do in what business model to use, because I found that here on school in general, one of the main reasons to be stressed is that people start a community and they don't have, from the beginning, they don't have a way to monetize. They don't know how they will monetize. So they possibly start to have people in, and then they get overwhelmed and frustrated because, okay, how do I make money if they don't have other things? Because if they have the pressure to make money. So I didn't want to make this mistake. And then I said, okay, I started to talk with the people that came in, and I recognized that yes, the beginners, it will be nice for them. Beginners in the sense, if you're not making enough, or at least you're not, money is a problem at the moment with your business. Structure, it's not the priority. Like you really want to focus on other things. So I said, okay. So even before thinking of charging, I think I'm making a mistake. Possibly I'm not targeting the right people, because I felt bad, like in the sense there were people, and I helped them, and I'm still helping them for free at the end, because I said, what do you need help with? And they said, oh, I need to structure my work. I need to understand it. Okay. And then, without even thinking of asking them money, they were like, but I don't have money at the moment because, I am just starting out. And I felt bad even asking, something. I said, okay, I cannot do this.
My question would be why? Because I think this is something a lot of us struggle with. Like people, let me a little bit explain, and then you can let me know your thoughts. So, like, if you're saying I'm gonna open a restaurant, you don't have money because the restaurant's not making money, but you still gotta pay to put tables in there, to get menus done, to get like there's different things you gotta do to get that restaurant up and running. That's not gonna make you money. But if you don't do it, like you gotta get your menus done, you gotta get your logo done, you gotta buy the building, you gotta put the stuff in the kitchen. Like you have to do all this stuff. And like none of those companies are like, well, you're not making money. So they're just like, so it's like it's interesting how we feel like that. Cause I feel like that sometimes too.
Yeah, maybe it was something that's, it was something that it was in my mind. But what I got talking with people, because I was not used to talk with people that were starting out, so usually, with companies and stuff, is that, as you were saying, when you start a restaurant, you do everything that you need to get money, the menu, the logo. So even in school, the about page, the classroom, and whatever, because you want to make money. But then you don't realize that actually, if you don't have a structure to use your time at best, you will burn out
Yeah.
because you don't feel that it's a priority. You don't focus on that. And so if you have some money to spend, you spend it
On other stuff.
there's how to
Yeah.
acquire clients. So I said, makes sense. I felt bad to ask, money to work with them one on one, or I said, okay, I cannot do this, because then, I will end up working for free forever. It's like,
That's true. That's true. That's a good point.
so I closed it. I closed my community, and I will start it again, just with a different target that I feel I don't want to charge, incredible amount of money, but I feel comfortable to ask, because I know that they have the money and their problem is a priority, because where they are at, they really need to structure, or else they will go crazy. Because, when you make money, but you're still working 10 hours a day, doesn't make sense. Like, because you don't have the time to spend the money, so it's important.
I think there's a cool thing that a lot of people can do too, whereas like if you have a niche where you're like, okay, maybe a lot of them don't have money, but some of them do, and they'd be willing to pay a little bit more. Is like the free community is kind of like here's how to do it. So like, hey, if you're starting off or whatever in your business, it's basically like Abigail, right? She's helping us with like bookkeeping and finances. So like the free community is like let's talk about money and here's how to do some stuff on your own. Then her premium is like, I'm doing it with you. So it's like, we can get on calls and I'll show you how to do it. And the higher ticket sub is like, just give me access to your stuff and I'll do it for you. So I think a lot of people can even take that approach where it's like, if you had a community of entrepreneurs, like, here's how to set up your systems, here's how to be more productive, and the community is talking about it, they can take that and just do it. But then if it's like, now that you trust me and you're making more money, then if you want us to do it kind of with you in the premium or whatever, it's like you have that. And then if you rather me just come in and like set all this stuff up for you, that can be an option too. But I think also it's important to think about like the niche, because if you're just working, if like most of your niche doesn't have money, then that's just not a good idea.
Yeah. You know what? I'm sharing my strategy basically, but what I realized, I I am a weirdo in the sense I am productive myself. I'm organized, and I try to apply what I teach. Like so, iterate fast, learn and iterate. And what I understood, maybe I'm wrong, but what I understood is that especially when you are also because I started my community, I started to understand how things goes. I removed myself from. I started with something like 25 communities. Now I have 10. I removed myself from all the communities. Undeterred is one I will never leave. I like that, like the people. So, and I just I had I have a WIP limit, which is work in progress limit, something I teach. You know your capacity, so you have, let's say, 2 hours a day to spend inside communities. You have to understand where you need to focus on, even there. So I said I will not join other communities if I cannot engage, because then I will feel bad. I
It makes sense.
I understood that many people, especially at the beginning, when you teach something like I do, which is not even finance, because at the end, you know that at the end of the day, you have to submit your bookkeeping and whatever. So you need to do it. But mine is nice to have. But people, when they really have the pressure, they realize that it's a must have. And I said, possibly I don't even need a community. So what I'm thinking of doing now is I will somehow advertise what I do inside school. So if people want, whoever want to contact me, they can via the app. And I don't need a community because I don't want people to look. I want them to save time, so I don't want to lose time in my community. And then when they become not serious, but to a certain point where they can possibly hire someone, I will have a community for them where I will share more stuff.
I think one thing that'll be cool for you is like, how do I say? Is like people might not realize like, oh, okay, that I need to focus on being more productive. But when people post the things that they can do in the extra time, people want that. So like if I can be like, yo, I just took my family to the beach and we stayed there for 6 hours and I'm still making money, I'm still doing it. Yeah, that's what people want. And I think if you can even show us like, I think in your own life of like what are you doing with the extra time? Like that's what people want to do. And I think a lot of people like Gary Vee, Alex Ramosi, like all the people we watch, they just do their business like all 24/7. And I don't know about you, but it's like I don't want to do that though. It's like I want to have a spit, like you said, a certain amount of time that I'm working on my business, and the rest I want to enjoy life. And I think a lot of people, when you're doing that, it's like, how are you doing that? Like, how are you're running your community, but then you can go get coffee, you can go work out, you can go do all these things. Like, I think showing that also will be motivational and inspirational to people. And then once you have a bunch of people posting this, then people are gonna be like, yo, that's what I want to do. Like that's the goal. Like not just, hey, be more productive, use Trello, but it's like grow your business, but like you don't need to be doing all of these all like you should be able to enjoy your life too. I think that's kind of like what you're helping them do.
Totally agree. Let's give some value. So I will make an example on how you can do it in general. So personally, I'm not perfect guy, and there's no perfect day. So that's something we should never aspire to because there's no perfect day. But at the moment, I am so grateful for that. Since my daughter was born, I am one of those dads that thankfully can spend time with her. So I am at least being with her half day. So because my wife works in the morning usually, and I work in the afternoon or we swap, so I am we enjoy my daughter. So how do you do it? And I train as well. I'm part of Camille group. You're too. So Camille is. I train. I have the time because we have the same 24 hours. So how do I do it? You basically have to, and it's a matter of accountability at the beginning, and it's not discipline, getting into the habit. You have to look at your calendar. So that's what I suggest. At the beginning of each month, you look at your calendar, and for let's say now it's December, so end of December, you look at January and say, okay, what's the goal for me that I want to achieve by the end of January? And it doesn't need to be something big, something achievable. And the goal needs to be in life and in business wise. So business wise, let's say I'm starting a community. I want to bring it to 50 people, not 100. Okay. And then I want to spend more time with my wife and I want to exercise. Okay, that's fine. So you have your goals. Then how do you measure that you're getting there? How do you know that these are called objectives and key results? So the key results, how do you measure that you're getting there?
I definitely feel like this could be like adult community if you don't. There's different ways of doing things, but I think a lot of people are gonna hear what you're saying and then like, okay, and then tomorrow they're like, what the heck? What is that thing that Claudio said? And then for those that remember it, they still have to do it. And I think having a community where you're leading us, we're all doing it together, and then people are seeing the results is gonna. I think people don't have money. It's not that people don't have money, is that one, either they don't value the thing or like they don't trust the person. But like these same people that don't have money are still going on vacations, buying Louis Vuitton bags, like going out to expensive dinners. So it's like, yeah, maybe not everyone can give us 10K, but people could give you $100 a month or $1,000, $1,000 up front. I think it's just I take a look at luxury brands. Like people are buying stuff they don't really need. And I think a lot of the stuff is like if we can build a brand around it, like people will like they're gonna want to do it because they're like, oh, D's in there and he's been getting it. Like there's a lot of people that are joining Camille's community because we talk about it, right? And then like I I I don't know. I don't want you to overthink like, oh, that's not something that would be valuable. So I think people like even as you're listening, you even as you're talking about it, I'm like, oh, that's something I would definitely like join and see. Cause like I'm like, oh, it'd be cool to have you be like, okay, at the end of this month, we're all together gonna think about like what's the plan for the next month and looking at all these things. But I know like I'm probably gonna forget some of the stuff you're saying right now by the end of the month. But if there's some community, yeah, I would definitely follow along with this because like
Maybe
not and like and you have a lot of people in Undeterred where it's just like if we're all like I feel like that's like my vision with Undeterred too is like it's not just like hustle, hustle, hustle. It's like let's use our time efficiently and then use the rest of that time for yourself and to like help others. Like that's what we should all be doing. Uh so I think you could I think just you helping us and us sharing the results would be a huge win. But I think like I'm just imagining even the people I always tell people, like, "Send me the people that don't have money, I don't really care." Like, I'll just invest in people, like, they're gonna make money eventually, you know? Like, someone's good, they gotta go somewhere. So, it's not like I just wanna spend all my time on people that if they don't have money, but they're willing to put in the work, I'm like, "That's different." But if you don't have money, you have bad mindset, that's different. But I think of, like, entrepreneurs on the around the all around the world, a lot of people are not sleeping, and they're just hustling, like, all the time. And then some of them have kids and like they're not able to spend time with their kids or their wives. And I think like what you're doing could have like a huge impact. And it just comes down to like talking about it more really in the brand, but then you'd be like the productivity, the guy, especially if you niche down to like people that have school communities, because then you just have to get a couple of people that are running the community. They have the money, but then they can say, hey, I'm only spending this much time. And like, bro, that's it's people are like, oh, I have to work with Claudio to get my hours done. There's a guy that has a community Michelle talks about that got a lot of people in there, and he has a star that's just about decreasing your screen time. I forget what the community calls. Who?
Q Thompson, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go. So he's very nice. Like he's a cool guy, and I like what he's doing. I like the mission because we were talking about it. Like usually, I spend less than 40 minutes a day on average on my smartphone.
Yeah, bro, what you're doing is so valuable.
Enough time, like at least 5 6 hours a day on my computer because of course I work on it. But
I don't know. I sometimes I can feel when like what someone's doing is really valuable and it's and like I feel like it might be like this. Like they see it as what they're doing is valuable. It's like I can see it a little bit more. And I'm never like you have to do this thing, but I always like to just encourage people like, hey, don't give up on that idea because it could be so you never know. Maybe other people could comment on this too, but I think it would make a really great community if that's a direction like that you want to go.
you know the idea, I feel so comfortable talking to you. I'm giving everything away with my idea. My really my goal is to write a book. Everything started because I wanted to write a book, and the name of the book, I started writing something, but the name of the book is A Business Called Life. And the idea behind it is that I told you, I'm so passionate about agile and all the how companies structure their work because and their day, because I know the benefits that it brings, that my mission is really ultimately to bring that structure into everyone's life so that they can see their life more as a business in the sense I have this time, that's what I want to achieve. Let's make the best out of it because businesses think this way. We business wants money, revenue. So how do we make the majority of that with the time and resources we have? People don't. Like we know we have time, but we just wake up and do whatever comes to mind, which is good. You don't have to be structured every day, but you need some structure. So if we can borrow the structure from companies that paid millions to make it work, I think it will be best. I'm using it and it's helping me a lot. Because at the end, you want to go to bed without feeling bad or things hit work. So if you know what you will do tomorrow and what you will focus on, you will feel better because you wake up, you open your computer, you open your Trello board, and you say, okay, that's what I need to work on. Let's do it. You get it done, and then you move on. You have other things to do. That's ultimately what you do.
Yeah, one thing I think maybe I should talk about this more, but I think one thing a lot of people aren't considering on school is typically if you start let's say you start this business, right? It's like, hey, I want to help entrepreneurs be more productive. The issue is I'm helping beginners, they don't have a lot of money. So it kind of feels like you're building your business like on an island. So like I have these people, but they're not making money. So like they're just gonna be here doing nothing. Like what can we do? I think the cool thing with school is that they're not just in your community. So like you're connecting all those people together. And so all these people should be connecting in communities where they're making money. And so all we have to kind of do sometimes is it's like just keep these people connected long enough for some of them to level up. Cause it's like they have access to that information on school. So it's like, even if you don't know, it's like, okay, the missing link is they need to make money. Okay, so who's teaching them how to make money? Send them to that place, you know what I mean? Or connect with that person. So now like
Yeah.
they're in your community and they're building connections with each other, which is going to make them stay. A lot of people are saying that about on Detroit, like, oh man, I meet a lot of cool people, really cool connections. So like these people are here and then they're slowly starting to make more money. So like they're gonna get to that point where they need that. And like you're the person that's kind of like been there. So I think sometimes we're not thinking like, oh, we're all leveraging like communities. Like, for example, like someone could be like they could start a like Robert or Rob Kelly. He's like helping people like become confident on camera, but not everyone's creating video content. But if you're like in my community and you see like I'm creating video content and other people are like, then you're gonna be ready. And if you know Rob, then eventually you're gonna be, oh hey, like let me join the thing. So I think a lot of the times like that's one thing I like about school. It's like a huge ecosystem. So it's like if they're on school, they should be learning to make money. And if they're learning to make money, then like you can help them build the system that they do it. And then those people that by the time they make money, they've have the relationship with you that now they're like, okay, let's just invest. And I think like it,
It's a long-term game. I agree. And it's all about relationships. Yeah.
I think also like books, like a lot of people, like you don't really even make a lot of money off books, but it's like it's either like a business kind of like a business card or like a thing that gives you authority, or you're just like the world needs this information. So like I just need to like put it out there. And I think people underestimate how powerful it is to help a whole bunch of people in the world like with your specific talent. Like if you have 1,000 people and they don't have money, like you're gonna have money. Yeah, I mean, like, like, like nobody's talking about this, but I'm like, if you're really good and you actually help these people and not just trying to sell to them, but you genuinely help them, like those people know people, like businesses, like someone's gonna find out and they're gonna be like, hey, like either write this book for us or come talk to our company about the agile or whatever. Like it's gonna happen. So I think a lot of entrepreneurs are just telling us like only work with these people that have a lot of money. I think that makes sense in the beginning, but I also see people getting burnt out because they're like, I'm working with people that I don't necessarily feel passionate about or that I really want to help. And so like a lot of people that genuinely want to help you have this fire to help, But then you're like, I'm helping only the people that have a lot of money. And then when I'm helping them, they're not maybe even serious about it, or it's not changing their life that much. And so it's like, I feel like this balancing thing. And I think with school, it's beautiful because you have the opportunity to kind of build the foundation, help people. And then once you're helping those people, then it's so much easier for other people to just like buy in. It's kind of like a Louis Vuitton purse. Like this the same women that don't have money, but yet they have a Michael Kors purse or a Tesla or whatever. You know what I mean? Just because they've seen it so many times that it like you can justify it now.
Yeah. I'm thinking out loud, and it makes sense because, for example, I told you when I worked to Malta and decided to go on my own as a contractor, I started with one or two companies, and then it was referrals.
Yeah.
Y- Yeah. And what I'm thinking now is actually for beginners, let's say, I don't like the word, but people that are starting out, what actually might help is a combo of what I do with, for example, something that you do, because people will need to learn as fast as possible how to monetize. But then, if they as well have the structure, it makes them go faster. Because, for example, if I when I started, what I noticed here, it was just 8 weeks. I connected with people mainly on DM and on one-on-ones just to talk, and see how I can help. I didn't even think of asking money. It was not the goal. It was to acquire feedback, to get feedback. And ultimately, I ended up talking with them on how to make money. And I was, that's not my core. Like, I cannot suggest them how to because I don't know. Like, I don't know what's the marketing thing that you have to do. So when I speak with people that are already good from their side, they want something else from me, which is what I am strong at. Because we end up talking about productivity tips, what tools to use, how even on school, how do you need to structure your CRM or whatever. Because that's what they want primarily now. And so if I end up talking with people about, okay, but then how do I fix my about page? I don't know.
Thing is, I think people just need to know like there just has to be like a structure and like an expectation. And I think like sometimes telling someone what to do and not how to do it is beneficial too. Like for example, I can't tell you how like I think that there's power in selling someone. I'm not super knowledgeable in like how like what you should put on your about page, but I can tell you that your time right now as a beginner should be spent more on building relationships than redoing your about page. So, like, now it's like, "Oh, I didn't know that I don't even need to do this." It's like, yeah, right now you're doing about page, Twitter, Instagram, blah, blah, you're spending 6 hours. If you just spent 30 minutes making connections, maybe you don't need to even spend the other 5.5 hours. Like, I don't think you need to necessarily tell us, like, what to do. It's like how to do it. It's like you should be spending 30 minutes of your day cold messaging or DMing or whatever. The other time it should be marketing. The other time should be coming up with ideas. I think if you give people like a blueprint of like, here's how you should be spending your time, then it's like, then they need to go figure out the what to do in those things because each business is going to be different. But I think a lot of people, they're just doing everything, but they need kind of like, hey, this is what you should be spending your time on.
Mhm. Yeah,
That would be valuable.
like wear different hats, you go crazy. I know because I am an entrepreneur, kind of. I call myself a solopreneur, but yeah, you wear different hats, so it's very important to know what will move the needle, and you learn it by doing it. Because I like the word blueprint, and for certain things it's applicable, but for other things you no, like there's no blueprint. You reach everyone unique, so you need to understand what works for you.
Maybe system, like they need to have their own system, like what works for you, but you're building based on what you're doing. Structure, yeah. I think you could develop this by like in the beginning having some but it's the same thing you already did, but you're just getting paid for it. It's like you worked with companies, PayPal, whoever, and you're like, oh, okay, I can take this to the next company based on what I helped them with. I think if you had some entrepreneurs that you helped with, but you're like, hey, I'm not gonna answer any of these like how to make money about face stuff, then you're gonna start to know, like, okay, like when I worked with D, that we move these things around. When I work with Camille, we move these things around. And so then that just becomes things that you can duplicate and like teach people or talk about in like a community. And then you can share like those results. But yeah, I don't think it need I don't I think it's kind of like if like there's like people that teach productivity on just like Apple products, right? Like I watch these videos. I know they're not going to teach me like how to make money, but it's just like here's how to set up Apple Notes and Apple reminders to get more done or whatever. Like I think there just needs to be an expectation of like this is going to help you be more productive and use your time better. Like you have to go figure out like the in between like about yes.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think like if anyone that watches this video, hopefully they wouldn't join like if after this like join my community, they wouldn't join with that expectation
Mhm.
because like now they've heard you tweet.
Now the community, but I will start again one. I will
But
actually.
I'm saying like after they've heard this, like then they would know. And I think that just comes with like with your branding and your reputation. So then people are gonna know once they join, like this is what it's about. Like if you want those other things, there's other communities, there's other coaches, there's other services for that.
Yeah, if people want something similar, it would be nice to for me to know. So if they want to come, and that's fine. Uh, but I see this, and we talked about it. I see school, and I spoke with my wife, and now in December I decided not to take on more clients like in Italy and other stuff because I want this to become my full time thing, and I'm serious about it. I just see it as a long term gain. So thankfully, I am, a little one, so I made money apart, aside, so I don't have the pressure to earn. But of course, I want this to be sustainable financially. And just, I think now it's just, about providing value. For example, the school calculator that I did.
Yeah.
The story behind it, it actually started in Undeterred. Because when I joined Undeterred, I connected with a lady, and we were talking one on one. And because I posted something about someone accountability, keeping each other accountable, and this lady came back. We connected. Hey, let's keep each other accountable. Then I lost her because I think she doesn't connect anymore on school for some reason. But when we connected online, she said to me, "Oh, what's the business model? How do I know when I switch to hobby to pro?" And said, "I have an Excel sheet where I track all of this." And she was like, "Oh, but I don't like Excel sheet." I said, "Let me build something for you." And I built it and I released it. So it was for her. And then, I said, that's good. So I will
I think you're to me it's like you're answering your own questions. Like if you had a free community for productivity, I feel like that's good conversations. And then like you can charge for like all these extra things that you're building and you're making like this the process is that we can get the Trello board, get this thing, like all the things that you can just it's already built for you. And then another tier that's like higher is like I feel like this would be for people that have like more money. It's like, all right, D, we're getting on calls, we're in constant communication. I'm looking at your business. I'm looking at basically like what you do with the other companies. Like I'm gonna look into what you're doing and I'm gonna actually give you a custom thing. The other one is pre conversations. The other one is like all the tools, maybe some help like with you. And the other one is like, hey, like super hands on. I feel like that would work good.
it could.
We never know. You never know.
Yeah.
But what would you what the question I always ask everyone is like, what is something that you feel like you could use help with like in your business like right now? Because we never know like who's gonna watch this video now or in the future. Maybe they have the resources or the knowledge.
What do you mean? Can you repeat the question?
What is something that you could use help with in your business? Whether that's man, I wish I had more money. I wish I had somebody that could help me with marketing or somebody like I don't know, whatever the thing is for you.
My business that can deal. Okay. So I think what can help. So I am at a point where I decided to listen to myself when it comes to what I want to do. So I feel I know, because at least, if I make a mistake, it's my mistake. I know
Yeah.
what what I want to do, the strategy. But I would really like someone helping me with the copywriting thing. Because,
What for what?
for example, for what I do, like saying it, come up with explaining what I do, which is kind of what I did in this video as well, and add someone saying, "Oh, that's how you should say it."
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'm not a native speaker, and sometimes I might come up with things like Meet Eagle. It doesn't make sense, like the company. And so that will have me say, okay, that's the copywriting way to use. But I don't like that. That's what would help me. For example, if that was the question, that's I
Okay. I already have some people in mind that I might connect you with. So let's say like how do people connect with you? Like they're interested in connecting with you more or they want to maybe work with you.
they can follow me on school. So they go on my profile. It's easy because it's my name. So Claudio. This tell us that school will explode because it's like, we are joining Facebook in 2007.
Yeah, sure.
It's to name handle at Claudio. This is not even possible on us.
Yeah, mine's just at D.
Yeah, so it's so cool. And so they can connect with me on school, they can send me a DM, we can talk. If I can help, I am not the guy, and that's why I like you as well. I'm not the guy that is here to sell. Like I talk to you and I think of, I have to sell you something. No, we talk, we have a genuine conversation. If I can help, then we talk about it. But
I mean, you like never almost talk about selling or anything. We're just like chatting most of the time.
that's an issue. Because to me, I had one person, actually two, Uh, because to be honest, someone here at school, I've worked with them already, like on a 101, and two of them asked me directly, "I want to pay you," and I'm like, "But why? Like I can do this. Uh, I want to pay you because I was what they asked me for. It was little for me, like in the sense, oh, that I can do. It's easy." They said, "Yeah, but I want to pay you," and I said, "Okay, like if you really want to." So it's an issue for me at the moment talking about asking money because
If it's an issue for you, just tell me. I'll send them the invoice on your behalf and the money can go. Everyone wins.
no, right, because working with companies, you don't talk about money. You talk about money at the beginning. Okay, that's my fee. And then when I start to work with them, I don't go to a team and say, "Oh, you need to pay me this much." I get already my salary. So it was already this year when I started in Italy, talking with working with entrepreneurs to ask them money. And even something weird, D, I'm not sure it happened to you. When I started working apart from the companies with solopreneur this year in Italy, and we worked together, they were happy. And every session and everything, they were like, "Oh my God, Claudio, you're helping me so much. I did this." And I was, are they taking joke of me? Because it wasn't almost real for me. Like, what did I do? I didn't do anything. I'm just telling them how to structure things.
I don't have that mindset anymore. Like I think I don't know what caused me to change, but I realized kind of like when we have this mindset, we're robbing the other person of doing something generous that they want to do. And so, like, I usually don't even ask people if they're sure. Like, if you told me, like, yo, D, me and my wife love you and like we want to pay for like your rent, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you're sure? You don't have to do that. But yo, I appreciate you, bro. Thanks. Like, I do that all the time. Like, if someone's like, man, I want to get you a coffee, I want to pay for you, I'm like, oh, thanks. I appreciate you. Like, I think I don't know. I've life has just become more abundant. I think when I have this mindset, and then also I try to do the same thing for other people, because I think it's frustrating when you want to do something nice for someone, and then they're like, "Oh no, you don't have to." Blah blah blah. And you're like, oh, "I just want to do something nice because I appreciate like what you're doing." And I think when we have this mindset of like, okay, I'm gonna like good things happen to me, but I'm also gonna do good things for other, like it just flows good. So I don't know. I notice a lot of people don't have this mindset. It's like I want money, but if someone's offering me money, I'm gonna be like, no, you don't have to be sure. It's like why? Why are we doing this? And like and a lot of things feel like we're good at what we do, so it feels easy to us. But Lauren always tells me like just because it's easy, like it might be a gift for you. That doesn't mean that it's not valuable to someone else. So when they say that it helped them, like just appreciate it. Like man, thank you. Like you're welcome.
That's the thing that we don't realize that something it's might be very helpful for others, and for you, it's normal. I will take your advice. I think it comes to culture because thinking about it now that you were talking, as Italians, we do all the time that. So, for example, if you would come here and we will go to a bar and you will say, "I'll pay for it." No, no, I will pay for it. And we start to fight, like, like someone is offering something. you feel bad. You're like, no, no, I have to. So yeah, it's
I would be offended, like, if I came and I didn't let you pay, like me being a guest.
I would be offended. Yeah,
That's what I mean. That's why, like, I just started being like, so, like, like, just let good things happen to you. Like, it's why not?
that's yeah, that's true. That's true. By the way, I'm seeing. I'm sure we will meet at some point. If you want to come to Italy, you're welcome.
That would be amazing, honestly. That'd be a great.
Yeah,
Oh, logo. What city are you in again?
Palermo in Sicily.
Oh yeah, bro. We have to, man. We went to Italy before.
Oh, it is April, May, because then it gets very hot. Like in August, it's very
I went last time we went there was in November, so it was pretty cool. But the hospitality was insane, bro. Like just people were so nice, and like some of the food that we ate is it looks so basic, and I'm like, how does this taste so good? Like it doesn't even make sense. But it's not like I think like when you go to France, like you're like okay, it looks super fancy, so it's probably gonna look good. Like they're doing all these garnishes and all this crazy stuff. When you go to Italy, it's just like you literally are seeing them take fresh food and just make a dish, but then it tastes so good, and then the people are so nice and welcoming, and the coffee, oh, yeah, that's probably she.
on the plate.
Oh my gosh, bro. But, I really appreciate you doing.
My mother-in-law says this all the time. She cooks so delicious things, and when we taste them, it's like, "Oh, they're so good. How did you do that?" And she said, "That's my love that I put on the." That's true, you know.
It's someone I think I saw somewhere where, like, this is actually, like, a real thing, like, the energy of the food, like, if someone's making you food and they're mad or they're angry, like, it can also almost, like, transfer into your body somehow. It's so weird, but nah, Italy is great, man. But yeah, bro, I really appreciate you doing this. I hopefully this is it'll be cool, like for people in there to get a better to get to know you more, but also maybe us get some feedback on like what you're doing. So I think it would help like a lot of people because a lot of entrepreneurs don't have systems or like tools or it's like it would always frustrate me when I would work with people and I'm like, all your stuff is like all over the place. Like there's no organization or systems or anything. Like what the heck? So I think it would help a lot of people, man.
Yeah. You know, when people thanks for that, but when people understand what they do, everyone n- knows the value is just, I think it's as we mentioned, helping the right people so that I feel comfortable, more comfortable to charge and to work with. But yeah, I'm if there are things, let's start with Trello. I will do a video and I will share
Thank you.
how
Thank you.
we use it. And yeah, it's been so nice to talk to you. And this is not an advertisement, but if people are on the fence, just join premium because the is you're very good, man. Like I'm following I just started the other one, but I'm following the how to get 100 people. The first course, I don't remember the name.
Yeah, get more members.
More members. It's so good, and there are people charging no jokes from experience more money, less value in your so val like
Thanks, bro. Well, well, I'm kind of curious. Like, so there's something I was talking to Lauren about. Before I got on here with you, which is we had like free premium masterminds to keep it simple. So like for our mastermind members, once a month, I do like a survey. Like that's like how many calls did you attend? Are you getting more members? Are you increasing your revenue? What feedback do you have? And like that's been super helpful for me to just get insight. And I was like, maybe we should do this with premium. And she's like, yeah, but some of them are just paying like $9 or $29. And I was like, I get that, but I also want I don't wanna treat it like that. I wanna treat it like they're paying 1,000 or something, and, like, then once we know that it's at that level, no matter what we're charging, then it's just like, "Hey, if you use it, if you don't, you don't." But now I wanna make sure it's, like, actually at that level. So my question would be, why do you feel like it's worth, like, someone investing in the premium? Like, what's the difference between the free and the premium? Why would it make it worth it for someone to make that jump?
okay, well, to me the journey on the third started because you were doing the connection call for free at the beginning. And
Yeah.
to be honest, I joined at the beginning. As I mentioned, I was on many different communities, and I jumped on many different calls. In Undeterred, the vibes was completely different. and is completely different. Like you feel there's genuine connection. And so when that became free, paid, like freemium, I was okay, I'm listening that. I want that. So that was the first thing because I wanted to keep connecting with you. And then as well, I believe that you are not that far away. Like say you're not Andrew Kirby or Sam Owens.
Yeah.
You can, so someone that is starting on this journey can have can learn a lot from you because you're doing things and you are 5, 10 steps ahead, not 1,000.
Yeah.
So it's to understand better where I am at. In premium, the value that you give as well, and having you, people can consider recording, but even on the coaching call, I didn't take a lot of benefit from it yet, but I can come and say, D, I have this question, and you will answer it. So it's so valuable. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think it's my thought too was like what I used to do before is I would be like, this is what I want to do. I feel like it's valuable and that you should pay for it. So I'm gonna charge like as much as I can. I think that works, but then there's like a lot of selling that you have to do. And now I'm more like, I'm gonna start a little bit lower and I'm gonna increase it as it proves itself to be valuable. And it's interesting. It doesn't hasn't made the other way makes more money in the beginning, but we have more like the people that are in there are so much better. Like it's like people I would hang out with like in person, or I would actually talk with, and people that are like getting results. And it's kind of cool. Like when I look at the leaderboard and I'm like, sometimes like I have like on my like one of my things I try to do every week is just like follow up with people on messages and stuff. And like an easy way I thought was like, oh, just look at the leaderboard. Those are people that are active. But it's like everyone that's on the leaderboard is like paying is like a paying member, which I'm like it is pretty cool because people are active, but they're also paying. But I think what's been cool is like before I felt like when I was selling like things, it's almost like you're like overcoming objections and then people are paying. And now it's like people are like, it's kind of weird. It's like people like thank us like when they pay, like, oh, bro, thank you for like this opportunity. And I'm like, that's kind of like how I want it to feel. Like I want it to be like we're giving you a really, really good experience. I don't care if it's $5, 10, 1,000, whatever. Like I want everything people to do in there to go like, man, this is like really good energy. And like and like they're supportive, not just like they want to take my money or see my business grow, but like they care about me like as a human being too.
That's so cool. And that's something that it's coming to mind. It's something you say as well. You are very close. I didn't know you were an artist, like a songwriter and rapper. Something that came to mind is like when you go to a concert, and I like, for example, to listen to instrumental music and stuff. So if I pay 50 euro to get there, then listening that music makes me feel, feels my soul. So at the end, even if I pay, it's like, thank you for doing this. Like,
Yes.
if you build a business and you're doing it that is like this, so if I manage to do what you're doing, so charging people a good amount and then helping them, but then they are genuinely, you know, appreciating what I do, their act of saying to me thank you, it's so much more valuable than the money they paid me for.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel, ultimately we do this and we are in business because we want to feel valuable. In a way, we are helping some. And of course, in the world we live, it's money because to go to eat a pizza, you need to pay. So
I feel like for a lot of us, it's like we just the money is just to get us to a certain point to where we don't have to worry about it. But once you're at that point, it's not more and more money that's going to make you feel better. It would be more and more impact that would make you feel more better than I think just more money without impact. So I think at scale is the impact.
yeah, yeah, something I wanted to share now, and I can keep talking on and on. You stop me. It's like I'm starting to understand, and I didn't understand it before, and I'm not even close. Why or Mosey or big people give a lot of things for free, and I think the business model might be broken for who's starting, because for example, Hormozy. let me try to get this straight. If you don't understand what I'm saying, tell me. Or Mosi is making money, for example, with his acquisition.com company, and he's making a lot of money because he's helping big entrepreneur and whatever. So he feels almost bad to charge other people and he wants to give back because he's already making money with that. So he gives a lot of free value. I feel getting there, I'm starting to understand why these people give a lot of value for free. Because then they arrive at a point where they have the money, like money is not an issue. So they want to give back as much as possible. And they start to give back. While I think if you do it at the beginning, it might be broken because you don't have the financial security yet. So if I'm going against Ormosi, but if he's saying, just do everything for free at the beginning, I'm not sure. Like it depends where you are at the journey. Because for example, if you are a doctor, that's something I always say, doctor charge. So it never happens that a doctor says to you, I do it for free. They have experience charge at the beginning. Oh, that you don't go to a doctor and say, "Oh no, it's free." No, you have to pay because I'm providing value. It's knowledge and whatever. But then when you get to a point where you are comfortable, it's even you have the desire to give more and more for free. I'm starting to understand. I'm not sure I got this straight, but I'm starting.
Makes sense. I think what I'm learning is like you just can't blindly follow people. You can just be like, this is what Alex Ramosi does. This is what Sam Muffins does. You have to like understand what they're doing, why they're doing it. You have to know like the direction in which you want to go, and then see what aligns, and not being afraid to test your own stuff. I think if you do that, then eventually like things start to work out. But a lot of people just go, Alex said it, so I'm doing it. It's like, all right. So, but no, man, I really appreciate you coming on here and doing this with me. I love having you in the community, man. And hopefully we can make it out to Italy or somewhere and link it up in person. That'd be super cool.
Yeah, let's organize an IRL for Undeterred.
Oh yeah, next year we're gonna start doing those. The only thing that's difficult right now is we don't know like the visa situation. So it's hard to plan too far ahead. But if I get it in Europe, then it's like, okay, we know we can at least be here. So yeah, we'll figure that out. Yeah, cool, man. Of course. All right, guys, we'll talk to y'all later.